welcome back to our channel, Way Out Here. Today I wanted to do a little video on relative humidity in your home. There's a reason you want to keep your house a little more humid than maybe normally you would. Especially right now, people are kind of panicked and worried about the coronavirus, you know. Numbers and statistics aside, if you are worried about it, there is something you can do. So I came across this article by Forbes, and this was written in 2019, about a woman who was practicing pediatric oncology at a hospital, and she was wondering why so many of her patients were coming down with infections like the flu, despite the hospital's best efforts at prevention. And she had originally thought it was the infrastructure of the hospitals that was the problem. So she went on the quest to find out if she was right, and she went back to school, got a master's degree in architecture, and began to research the impact of the built environment on human health and infection. And again, this is an article I came across in Forbes. I'm just reading snippets from it. I will link that article down below so you can check it out on your own. She and colleagues studied 370 patients in one unit of the hospital to try to isolate the factors, and looked at 8 million data points and controlled every variable they could think of for the likelihood, to explain the likelihood of infection. So what played a role was hand hygiene, the fragility of the patient, and room cleaning procedures, but those all had a modest influence. According to this, one factor stood out, and that was relative humidity. At low relative humidity, indoor air was strongly associated with higher infection rates. When we dry the air out, droplets and skin flakes carrying viruses and bacteria are launched into the air, traveling far and over long periods of time. The microbes that survive this launching tend to be the ones that cause healthcare-associated infections. So, this also links to where her study has been published about this. So I'll also link that down below. So again, you guys can read her study and you can read this Forbes article. So basically what you want to do is keep your home a little more humid, and that's what we're going to try today. We're going to do some experiments. We're going to see what we can come up with to try to improve the relative humidity of our home. I already run a humidifier a lot, so that definitely helps, but that keeps us somewhere around the 25% mark. And according to her research, the studies and medical literature, the sweet spot for indoor air humidity needs to be between 40 and 60%. So that's kind of an uphill battle if you live in places that are pretty dry like we do here. So we are just gonna give it a go and see what we come up with, and you guys are gonna follow along with me and see what we figure out. Because we are going to focus on attempting to raise the humidity level in the house today, we're going to show you how we do it around here, way out here. The first thing you want to do, that we do, is we wash heavy things, towels, bathrobes, even kitchen towels, stuff like that. Just wash them in the washing machine, and when they're done, we're going to hang them in the house, and we'll do a video of that. But this is just one way you can start getting more humidity in the air in your home. So now that our towels have completed their wash cycle, they are not dried. I just kind of hung them up nice and heavy from being wet, in a spot that will dry them. And this is a good way to get some humidity too. So especially if you don't need them right away, you can wait until the evening to shower. These will kind of just dry in here, and the moisture will go into the air of your home. And it definitely does help, at least a little. I found it isn't, the main thing that really helps boost that humidity by a large chunk, but it definitely will do the trick if you just need 1 or 2% more relative humidity. So this is a humidifier that we run upstairs, and this pretty much runs all the time. I do turn it off sometimes if the sound is too much, but it's really not. It just creates like a white noise. But this is right by my side of the bed, and I'm still able to sleep with this running. We like it. It helps, especially if you have dry skin. You're going to want to boost the humidity and right now when you've got this whole pandemic thing going on, health officials, experts, studies have shown that it's harder to spread the virus when you have more relative humidity in your house, and we live in a very dry climate, so getting it more humid in our house and keeping it there has been a struggle, but we're sharing things that have worked for us with you guys so that you can learn and hopefully help improve the humidity in your own homes. So one of the best things I've found personally that'll help the humidity in your home, this works really quickly, is to boil a gigantic pot of water on your stove. So I'm going to get this set, and I did this yesterday, so that's probably why we're still sitting at 33% humidity, but it is on. I turned it on there. So once this starts boiling, we'll kind of come back and we'll look at what we've got as far as humidity goes in the house. And hopefully this will help boost us up to that 40%. You know, experts are saying 40 to 60% relative humidity in your home is adequate. So that's what we're going to try today. And hopefully this will help you guys understand what we do to help improve the humidity and how you can do this at home and why we think it's such a good idea. Okay, so this is our gauge basically that tells us what our humidity is like right here. Indoor temperature is 72 degrees. And as you can see, the high humidity we've had in the house is 49% and the low was 16. So 33 is still kind of low for what the experts say is adequate to basically prevent viruses from spreading as well in your home. So we're going to try to bump that up to 40%, but this is our gauge and this is where we're starting out this morning. Yeah, so let's see if we can get that to go a little bit higher. Okay, so our water's been boiling for about 40 minutes. It's already, quite a bit of it's already evaporated. And if we look over here, we've got our humidity inside is now at 42%, so we are over the 40% threshold. I'd still like to bump it up and try to get it into that 50% range, because as you can see, the high we've ever gotten, and this is weekly, I believe, this gauge, so it'll reset in a week, but the highest we've gotten so far this week, the past 7 days, has been 49. So hopefully if we can get it over that 50% threshold, we'll notice that this has worked. So I'm going to let this boil for a little bit longer and we will come back and see where we're at then. Oh, 43. How exciting. Okay, we're just checking back in with our boiling water. It's been a little more than 2 hours. I did have to top this off a little bit. You don't want it to get too low and run out of water. We're definitely getting some humidity in here. As you can see, we're up to 48%. So the boiling water, I feel, is definitely the best as far as quickly adding humidity to your home. Constantly running a humidifier will work too, but if you don't like the noise and you can't sleep through it, you know, you're going to have to turn that off at night. And this just seems like the best option for during the day, is to just boil the water and keep topping it off as you need to until you get it to where you'd like it to be. Again, the laundry trick also works, but it only helps minimally. It's noticeable if it is super dry outside, and which it can be here, but I mean, it doesn't really work as well. So in my opinion, after trying all of these methods today, this is the best one. Boil water on your stove and just keep it boiling until you get the humidity where you need it, and then just turn it off. So we didn't get up to the 50 like I wanted, but I am going to turn this off. I'm comfortable with it being at 48, and we're just going to turn this off and go about the rest of our day. So thank you for joining us at WaY Out Here, and we hope you found this helpful, and we'll be able to implement some of these ideas in your own home to try to boost the humidity and virus-killing properties of your own house. Thank you from WaY Out Here. Hello there. I just wanted to do a quick little video and show you guys, when you do the boiling water, you need to be careful. As you can see, we have a soffit, so there's some condensation there. We have a soffit and it gets wet up there near our lights, and you don't want to get too much water up here. So I'm going to actually turn this off, and just keep that in mind if you do have something like this right above your stove. You're going to want to make sure that this doesn't happen. So I'm going to turn this off and actually wipe that water off of there so it doesn't damage our paint and our drywall. And even with this running for an hour on a super dry day, as you can see, it's just, I mean, 38%, it's just really difficult to increase the humidity in your home. So there are things you can do. It is tough, but unless you buy a very expensive big humidifier, which is out of our budget for right now, there doesn't seem to be a lot you can do to bump it up really fast, really quickly. We're just gonna have to do this boiling water in parts. So I'm gonna turn it off, wipe off our soffit, wipe off around the lights, and then hopefully that will allow us to give the drywall a little bit of a break, and we can run this again a little bit later. I just wanted to make that quick statement for you guys to just watch that if you do have a soffit above where you're boiling your water. Thanks for coming to our channel, and thanks for watching, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day.